Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alabora. Today, we are going to talk about a different kind of health, the health of our environment and how it intersects with something very close to the hearts of millions of Indians, our faith and our religious traditions. If you look at India's map, our religious geography is completely inseparable from our ecological one. Across the country, our most sacred shrines, our caves, and pilgrimage routes are nestled deep within dense forests, adjacent to protected areas, or high up in ecologically sensitive mountains. For centuries, this means peaceful coexistence. But things are changing rapidly. Today's article is titled Aligning Religious Tourism with Ecology. It's co-authored by two leading experts in this field. Dr. Sanjana Nair, a policy analyst at the Center for Policy Design, and Dr. M. Subhadra Devi, a senior fellow at the Surizigal Center for Biodiversity Conservation. Both are associated with ETRI, the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment. Their research addresses a burning question. How do we balance religious tourism with the urgent need to protect our fragile ecosystems? So, we are going to explore the challenges, the loss, and the beautiful middle ground that can save both our heritage and our habitats. Let's start with the core problem. The authors point out that what used to be a seasonal, community embedded ritual has now exploded into mass tourism. The sheer volume of visitors is placing unprecedented pressure on our forests. We are seeing heavy commercialization, more vehicles, more plastic, and more concrete in places that were once untouched. This is not just an abstract fear, it's happening just right now. The article highlights a recent major flashpoint in Gujarat. There was a proposal to expand a religious establishment right inside a wildlife sanctuary. Naturally, this brought long-standing tensions into sharp focus. The proposal went to the National Board for Wildlife and was initially approved. Thankfully, it was later withdrawn after serious concerns were raised about the impact on forest rights and the dangerous precedent it would set for other protected areas across the country. But it begs the question, what happens when every religious site inside a forest demands more land, bigger buildings, and wider roads? The legal framework in India is quite clear. According to the Forest Conservation Act of 1972 and the National Tiger Conservation Authority norms, any construction or expansion on forest land after 1980 is generally treated as an encroachment. When we allow unregulated construction, we fragment animal habitats, which directly leads to an increase in human-wildlife conflict and weakens our protected areas. Can we just ban all religious activities in forests? Since we understand human socio-cultural dynamics, we can strongly agree that conservation cannot happen in a cultural vacuum. India is a land of thousands of sacred groves. These are patches of forests protected by local communities purely because of their belief systems. These communities have actively restricted extraction and disturbance for generations. They are the original conservationists. Furthermore, we have the Forest Rights Act of 2006. This is a critical piece of legislation that mandates the recognition of the rights of scheduled tribes and traditional forest dwellers. Authors make a powerful point here. Any restriction we put in place must respect these traditional access rights. If we ignore them, we marginalize the very communities that have protected these forests for centuries. So, a blanket ban is culturally insensitive, constitutionally questionable, and practically impossible. We don't need a ban, we need a blueprint for balance. This brings us to the most crucial part of the article, the solutions. How do we navigate this complex terrain? The authors propose a green pilgrimage model. In 2023, ETRI, in collaboration with the World Wildlife Fund (WWF), published a set of guidelines for religious tourism within tiger reserves. They drew on successful evidence-based models from places like Calakat, Mundature, Ranthambore, and Corbett. Authors suggest the core pillars of solution. First one is no expansion principle. This is fundamental. There should be absolutely no new constructions or enlargement of existing structures within core forest areas. We must draw a hard line. Second is impact-based regulations. For sites that have existed for a long time, we need strict rules. This means putting caps on pilgrim numbers. It means banning night traffic to promote nocturnal wildlife. It means robust controls on waste management, water use, and sanitation. Third one is multi-stakeholder governance. The forest department cannot do this alone. We need temple authorities, local governments, conservation organizations, and local communities sitting at the same table and work together. The author suggests that in pilot areas where engaging religious leaders were prioritized, we saw measurable reduction in roadkill, plastic pollution, and water contamination, all without stopping worshippers from practicing their faith. This proves that faith and conservation are not incompatible, they are just to be managed sustainably. So let me conclude. When we teach history, biology, or sociology, this is an ultimate interdisciplinary lesson. We need to teach our students that protecting environment doesn't mean erasing our history or culture. Use examples like this to teach critical thinking and show them the real world issues require balanced, nuanced solutions. As inheritors of both this incredible cultural legacy and vital ecosystems, I want to remind that when you visit a sacred site, your behavior matters. Carry your water in reusable bottles, respect the silence of the forest, and understand that true devotion also means protecting the creation around that shrine. Faith is a deeply personal and powerful force, but we must realize that mass commercialization under the guise of religion is destroying the very natural beauty that made these places sacred to begin with. We need to support sustainable pilgrimage practices. In my view, integrating ecological protection with cultural continuity is exactly how India will thrive in the future. We are a nation built on ancient wisdom, and that wisdom has always taught us to respect nature. If we can successfully implement this green pilgrimage model across the country, India can show the world how to honor human devotion without sacrificing ecological integrity. It benefits our biodiversity, our local economies, and our spiritual well being. This is Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. See you in the next